Your crazy smile, digital dive. I hate your every bolt and screw. I don't like anything about you. You're a dirty robot. You're a dirty robot. You're a dirty robot. You're a dirty robot.
Hello, Internet. My name is John Kulas. I am not a dirty robot. I don't think. Actually, what I think I am is a psychologist and an R user. So I've been a professor of psychology for 20 years, been using R for standard statistical purposes for 10 years or so, and for the last 7 or 8, I've also been using R to author things, so self-containing projects that have a quantitative component within the same platform, and wrapping our analysis with explanations of the analysis and communicating what the analysis is within R. And so every week I get together with some of my compadres who are doing similar things and just make ourselves available to other people that might be interested in learning how to do this. And we actually, look at this, we have a early joiner here.
Vamos a ver, ¿qué es lo que pasa con los alcaldes? ¿Qué es lo que pasa con los alcaldes? ¿Qué es lo que sí, qué está pasando con los alcaldes?
Hey, hello.
Diego, it's good to see, well, it's good to see, it's good to hear you. I guess I can't say it's good to see you, but welcome back. Oh, there he is. Look at that. Yeah, handsome guy. So Diego
There for style.
Is that professional? Is that what that is?
It's meant to be.
Well, now your beard looks fairly well trimmed too. Was that did you have that professionally done, or did you do that?
I had it done, quote unquote, professionally. I could have probably done the same thing by myself.
But so like a barber type person did that? I've never had that done. What was your experience with that?
No, I mean, barber, just the person who cuts my hair. I told her to also trim my beard. That's it. She just used the machine.
Oh, they didn't give you like a hot towel on your face like in the cartoons?
No.
All right. Well, at least you still have a nose, because in the
I thought-
cartoons, usually the nose goes off too.
I thought they would do that, like in the cartoons. They did it once when I went to cut my hair years ago. They did the whole barber, putting you down and putting hot blood in your hair and then doing your beard.
Did you like that?
No, that's why I left my hair. I didn't want to go back.
Yeah, that might be like a generational thing. I don't think I would like that either. But welcome back. You were at a conference. How'd the conference go?
It was pretty good. It
Good.
was fun. I saw Paulina and some Squally, Ian, so many people. Katrina didn't go though. I thought she would show up.
Oh yeah, she kind of made it sound like she was gonna go. Maybe it was a last minute thing. I heard it was really expensive this year, so.
Yeah, it was 500. I used my student one, so I didn't have to pay as much. But yeah, 500. That's crazy.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
good.
and then something crazy that happened during the conference is that my badge, they printed it without my company's name. Plus, it got dirty, so I went to them and I was like, can I get a reprint? And they're like, no, we don't do reprints. We're saving costs on paper or something like that. And I'm
What?
like, what? What happens if I lose it? And they're like, oh, in that case, we do reprint. So I just had to go and lose my badge to come back for it.
So is that what you did?
Yeah, I
Uh,
lost it in the pocket of my jacket.
well, the people historically that have worked those desks are just volunteers. They're
Yeah,
usually
they're all
students.
volunteers.
Yeah, I can see someone saying, giving a set of instructions and not really understanding and just kind of rigorously applying those standards. So anyway, I'm glad you got in. So we'll have to chat more. I'll want more of a debrief tomorrow on that if you're up for it. If we meet tomorrow. Um, but so every week, Diego and I and some other people pop by every once in a while. We get together and we just make ourselves available if anyone out there is interested in learning how to use R or Python if you're interested in that as an authoring platform. So um, again, communicating your entire project through the same platform with the thought that there's no need to just use R as only an analytical tool. You can use it as a writing instrument as well. And so every week we just kind of hang out if there's other people out there that are interested in doing this, because there's all kinds of canned tutorials and that are great that are on YouTube. But we didn't see a lot of interactive forums. So if someone just wants to bounce ideas off of other people or prefers more back and forth, we're here for that. And so we also have been covering features every week, and we've been learning about this new platform, Quarto. It's not new anymore, but newer to us when we started this, an authoring platform called Quarto. And the last couple of weeks, there's a Quarto type of document that that facilitates the production of PDFs. So PDFs historically have been authored via TeX or LaTeX typesetting language, and in terms of the styling of it, and that gets really wonky. Diego did his dissertation using a lot of tech and LaTeX in terms of extra formatting that we had to apply. And the one of the features of typist, supposedly, and we're going to stress this tonight, we'll check it out, is we should be able to apply some of the same styling commands that we use for HTML files, which are more straightforward. They I guess easier is probably the word. I don't know if straightforward is the proper word or not, but maybe I'm just more comfortable with it. But the CSS styling, cascading style sheet language, tends to me be a little easier to work with. And so one of the things about typist is there's an effort to try to get more CSS styling command specifications operative within the typist document type. And so tonight, Diego, I thought we would check that out and kind of see how far we can go with that. Now, I'm curious, do you know what version of Quarto you have on your machine? Because I don't have the most recent version of Quarto on mine, which I might need to install it for us to really test this.
Well, I didn't update mine
Okay,
since.
fine. No, that's fine. I was just curious. Okay, and so every week, because we explore features in this kind of very exploratory kind of style, we also try to recap what was done the previous week that's a little more condensed and probably helpful for learning. And so let's get our transition here for what happened last week.
Last time you remember, our friends were stranded in the middle of the desert with the sun setting fast. Well, they shivered their way through the long, cold night, and in the morning gazed out over miles and miles of miles and miles.
Where do you suppose we are, Rock?
We're right in the middle of nowhere, Bullwinkle.
Oh, I'm glad. I thought for a minute we were lost.
It was at that moment that Captain Peach Fuzz made a momentous discovery.
Rocky, Bullwinkle, look here.
What is it, Captain?
Well, if we weren't in the middle of the Sahara Desert, I'd say it was a railroad track.
That's sure one on you.
What do you mean, Bullwinkle?
Well, that's just a mirage.
Mirage?
No, mirage. It's called a octopus illusion.
Optical illusion.
Yeah, it's not really here. Look, I'll kick it. Boy, that's what I really call a mirage. It's hard as a rock.
And look, coming down the track.
Captain Peach Fuzz really kind of pisses me off. I'm not a big fan of the guy. So I'll be glad once they ditch him. But so last week, one of the things we took a look at was a typist template that permits the specification of conference posters, which is kind of topical because Diego was just heading to our national annual conference. And in addition to that, because this was the second week that we've looked into typist, the first week we got kind of distracted by some other capabilities and we're like, ooh, that's neat, let's go chase that shiny flashy thing. The first week we didn't do a lot of exploration into just a standard document type, and so we did actually last week take a look at just a standard document. And so we played with it a couple of different ways. We just put in a bunch of, it's not gibberish, it's actually meaningful text. It's Moby Dick. So we just kind of found a Moby Dick online, and then sorry, I muted Diego temporarily there because he was typing loud. So Diego, just unmute yourself when you want to talk. That's fine. And so we just put some text of Moby Dick in here, and we didn't do this last week. Just this week, prior to generating these slides, I put an image in as well, just to show that image is fairly straightforward and same specification as it's always been within R Markdown. But the neat thing was the specification of these columns and also the margins. So we played with the number of columns and we played with margins just within the YAML of our document file script. And so on lines 6 and 7, actually on lines 5 through 7 here, you see margin specifications, and this is what's currently been knit or rendered on the right hand pane there. If you access it with a download PDF file, you can see actual file. But the 0.2 centimeters on the y-axis as well as the x-axis, I think I did that backwards. So x is left and right, so it's your left and right margins. Y is up and down. Can't really see it on the top of this page because there's also kind of meta controls regarding headers and titles, and so the specification isn't going to apply on the title page itself. The title is going to be centered on this document, but you can see it on the bottom, and you can certainly see it on the second page in terms of that 0.2 centimeter specification. We played with that all the way down to 0, and there actually wasn't too much over plotting in terms of characters going off the page. So really slick, really easy tweaking that you can do there in terms of the layout of your document with regard to the size of those margins. And we also tweaked the columns quite a bit as well. So we just played with margins and columns. I think columns, yeah, it says here we played with it all the way up to 7 different columns on a page with the standard orientation. So if it's 8.5 by 11, it's the 11 that's vertical and the 8.5 that's left and right. And with that specification, it handled up to 7 columns just fine. And the copy editing of it, the way that it actually renders and looks in the document, was fantastic. I was really impressed with it. By the way, if you access the slides, there's a hyperlink to the help page for this kind of information. The Quarto help page is hyperlinked there, so you can find out more about the actual commands on that help page. The poster, we actually only tweaked a little bit. So the poster formatting of it, we decided that, or I guess Diego and I disagreed a little bit. So Diego said he wasn't quite so sure that he likes the kind of layout and color and kind of just the way it looks. I liked it. It's fairly clean. It's fairly simple. The other packages that we've been using to specify conference posters, the tweaking of it in terms of layout looked a little, it was maybe a little more customizable in terms of poster down. I think there might be a little more opportunity for customization there. If we wanted to fully customize this, we'd have to probably get into the package specifications itself. I did see one of the things we tried last week, Diego, and I'm going to unmute you here in case you want to add something. One of the things that we tried last week was to add column specifications to this poster. And in retrospect, we should have, I don't know why I wasn't thinking this, but we only tried to expand from 3, and the poster template does have a constriction option in there. So if we would have got a 2 columns, we would have been okay. We tried 4 or 5, and that actually wasn't built in terms of what comes out of the box with this template. So if you're okay with 3-column conference posters, the fonts we could change, the ways in which the headings are rendered we could change. We did change the color of this footer here. You can change the content very easy. If you're okay with the format of this, the actual content is really straightforward in terms of scripting. And again, that's entirely accessible here in the left-hand pane. This is the entire bit of content that we actually have in here. One thing that you'll notice is there's no column break specifications. So that could be added to here, but in terms of the default, that's something that they just went ahead and let the columns break where they may break. I know some people are kind of sticklers on that. When not even looking at this, I see that the methods and the the lorem ipsum dolor headings have very little content. They're kind of at the bottom of the page. There may be a preference to actually move those up and have those be column headings instead of starting where they're currently starting. We added pictures, so this was, I just tried the Reveal.js Zoom, not realizing that I was on a PDF. This is a picture from Diego's alma mater, one of his alma maters, and the mascot there. So we just added that, and that was a really quick and easy add to the poster. So I think, Diego, next time you and I have a conference poster, I think we should try that just to be different. I mean, why not? And who knows who knows what that's going to look like and what kind of options are going to be built into it a year from now. 'Cause it looks to me like that's a active repository in terms of people actually doing work on it.
Oh, that's neat.
So you wouldn't oppose that, right? You'd be up for trying it.
Yeah, for sure.
We can even keep that picture of Rocky and his girlfriend, maybe.
Instead of the logo.
Instead of a logo, yeah, we can just have the picture. So today, what I'd like to try is further specifying styling of information within those typist documents, but via CSS. So via the normal type of scripting and styling commands that we apply to an HTML document. And so there is, again, there's a hyperlink on there, but there's a little bit of explanation of kind of the thought and the theory and the practice and application here that the Quarto team's been working on supporting. And so they do have this orientation of allowing similar styling structure and commands between HTML and these typist documents. And so not everything is currently supported. So I did a little bit of exploration into this. You can actually see the types of stylings that we can expect to be able to control via CSS, and we'll test this out tonight. So we'll see what actually works here. But interestingly, one of the things that I thought that I was surprised by was some of these stylings that we might want to tweak look like they're operative using those colon divs and not functional or operative if we use those bracketed spans. So fenced divs and bracketed spans are the two ways that we've been applying stylings within primarily HTML documents. And we've been viewing those as fairly interchangeable. So the spans we've been using for smaller bits of the document that we're interested in targeting, and the divs are for larger chunks. But here we see that there may be currently at least some of that functionality that's unique to using spans or divs. So I think we'll probably, I'll leave this maybe open, try to remember to leave it open, and we'll come back to it and see how it works. But I think we should see if we see what kind of things we can do using typist. Now, Diego, do you want me to share screen on this, or do you want to try?
I can share screen too.
It's up to you.
Yeah, let's try it out. See.
You mean you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I don't know. I don't know if you were here when we first started playing with typist, but it's not a built-in. It's not a built-in document type within the RStudio wizard. You're still using RStudio, right?
Yeah.
Maybe one of these weeks. We should also try doing some of this stuff within VS Code or Positron.
Oh yeah, that would be nice to learn to use VS Code. At job day, at my work day also some use VS Code. And I have it installed too, but never got to use it much.
Okay, here's Diego.
Oh, can you hear me? Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep, but we can see yours. We could see RStudio for just a second there. So I think we could try some stylings and see how it works in CSS, and then also just see if it transfers over to the typist document type. And we can see what kind of errors we get with a PDF as well, so we could play with all three of those actually.
So I would start here, Quarto presentation.
I think that's fine. Yeah, just take the default, because no matter what you start with, we're gonna have to go up to the YAML and change it. Yeah, Diego and I both, we prefer to work within the source option within RStudio as opposed to the visual editor. But that's up to you individually, I suppose. So Diego, on the format line, let's just change that to HTML. We'll just do an HTML document, and maybe just type something down below. If you want to write the next great American novel, that's fine. What if you Universal?
Yeah, even better
Okay.
than American.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's like a loaded. Well, I'm not even gonna go there. That's fine. That's enough information. Maybe I guess we don't need a picture because we're gonna do stylings. The stylings are gonna be focused on words. Do you want to put a header in there? Maybe a heading. So hashtag for a first level heading, and he's gonna call it intro. Okay, that's enough. Let's render that and see what happens.
We could put an image.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. It's just, I don't know. Even if we're not going to alter it, it's just nice to have a picture in.
Let's see, you have many pictures here. Where's the images?
Oh, if you're in our repo, I have a IMG directory that I've been using. Or if you just want to grab something from the internet, what's a nice topical? Easter's coming up. Should we grab a picture of the Easter bunny?
Sure.
see-
Oh,
let me
look, here it is, image. Anyone that you like? Look, Diego.
I don't know what Diego is. Oh, yeah, there's a Diego picture.
Yeah, that does look like me.
Yeah. It's a bunch of nodes. Yeah, and so one of the nice things about working within projects is when Diego's typing the location for the image, he doesn't have to go full on the computer. He can just go off of the project directory. And so we'll see. I don't know if that backward slash works, but we'll try it and see here.
I think it's gonna work.
I think so. So we'll try some build. There's your image. So we'll try tweaking the styling of some of that. Now, again, there's two different ways to do stylings in an HTML document. There are bracketed spans and there's fenced divs. So I'm gonna try to, oops. I was gonna try to put in the, I can't do a hard return in the comments, so that's gonna be difficult. So Diego, we haven't talked much about that, but do you know what I'm talking about when I say bracketed spans versus fenced divs?
Bracketed, those are the two dots that, like that. Instead
Three.
of the
Those are
chunks.
those are the fences. So three colons at least, and then in curly brackets you apply the styling that you want to apply, and then you have to close that fence as well. So like after, there you go. Yeah, that's fine. So let's take a look at the types of built-in stylings that we can apply, and then we'll see if we can tweak it. And get, doggone it, I did leave it open. Okay. So background color looks like it's something that's supported. So in those curly brackets, Diego, you're gonna want to go style equals style equals, and then in double quotes we'll put background dash color, and then colon, and then whatever color we want. So you should be able to give it a hexadecimal code. If you want to do badass, we've been using badass, but should be hashtag, and then it's not SS, it's 55, right? So BADA 55. See if that does anything. So the expectation is that we'll now have if this works in the HTML file, we'll have background coloring. Nothing?
No.
Okay. Well, let's
Okay,
try
right.
it.
Oh wait, I'm missing one semicolon here. Where is it? I mean double quotes. The double quotes, where they go?
End it after the color. End it after the actual color specification. So after your hex code.
Oh, then it was already there. Background color. Maybe it doesn't like all these spaces. It wants it to be all together. That's just annoying LaTeX.
Well, I mean, we'll try a bracketed span and see if that works. It might be one of these. So either our syntax might be misspecified, or it might be one of these styling options that is not supported with the fenced divs, but is supported with the bracketed spans. So do you want to try square brackets around something? Maybe just universal?
Yeah.
And then curly brackets adjacent to it.
Oh, I see. And then I do style.
Yeah. It could be that it's not it could be that it doesn't like the hex code as well. Let me see. Look at this. Uh,
It's too badass.
Hey!
Hey, Ian. What's up?
what's up, Ian?
Wow,
Look,
We're
that
playing.
worked.
We're playing with typist.
that's cool.
So okay. So that's one of those that's maybe supported with bracketed spans, but not fenced divs. Looks like. But why did it? But why did it apply it to everything? Because you only have the span on.
Universal.
Yeah. So why is everything? It looks like the fenced div now works. Did we do something different to that?
No.
I think, wait, if you look at line 7,
Yeah, your eyes are
Line
better than
7?
mine.
if you look at line 7, I think there's a space in the beginning. No, line 7?
Here?
Yeah, if you go backspace, yeah, maybe that was it.
Huh.
Well,
Was there-
whatever, whatever you had, Diego, it was working as a fenced div. So if you put that back, let's try to reconstruct this. So now if we change the background color of universal from badass to something else, let me look for a color here.
Oh, yeah.
Then we should
Let's
see if
just
they're
put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's white or black.
okay. Yeah, that'll work.
Wait. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that worked. Yeah, it seems it doesn't like the X code.
Well, something goofy is happening here because it should only apply it.
Let's see.
It-
That. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's 6.
Yeah, the question is why
Oh,
is
now it works. I think maybe Ian was right. There was a space or something. No, wait.
no? What's happening is
Oh, wait. This is
Color
what's
code,
happening.
right?
yeah. What's happening is it's picking up the bracketed span and it's actually applying that to the entire document and not just the targeted section that it's supposed to be applying it to. So I'm not sure what's going on with that.
But now it's working even regardless of this. Because now I don't have the thing. And it's still green. And before it wasn't green, even though.
Okay, well that's what we thought was going. Okay, so that I don't know what's going on. That's how it's supposed to operate. So that's the fenced div that should operate that way. Now the bracketed span was weird though. So can Diego, why don't you write something outside of that fence? Yeah, let's do something else. Let's see. You can write what the heck? What's the giant? There's like a Nephilim over Ian's shoulder there.
Oh, that's my psyop ego back there.
That's your PSYOP ego? How? So you had a good time at PSYOP too, Ian?
I had, so for me, not to describe my experience, it was kind of like a big mountain. So
Yeah.
I definitely got all the information I needed at the peak, and then I just kind of was like slowly kind of reflecting on it afterwards.
Okay.
I went to Wawa app and I downloaded a bunch of PowerPoint presentations from sessions I couldn't go to. And but a lot of them don't have it this year last year, almost all sessions had the PowerPoint on the. Oh look, now it works.
Okay, I
Ego.
feel better. So the fence div is going to do a whole section. The bracketed span is going to do a smaller section. So Diego, can you try changing the document type to typist, and let's see if those specifications both also work within this newer document type that's going to produce a PDF instead of the HTML file? No I. Tips. So the
Oh,
reason we put a
this.
No,
the reason yeah we had a cat on a slide title the other day, and it was because it's tips.
wait, why
Kept
did they
thinking
spell it like that?
maybe they're cat lovers.
Hmm.
See, if you say tippist enough, then this happens.
I have grown very fond of cats lately.
Why is that?
So last year, we had basically adopted a cat in a way, and it was like, you know, those babies that come down the river, and then you just see it over there, and you
I
basically
think
just
you're talking about Moses. I think wasn't Moses the only one that happened to?
that kind of basically what happened. And then ever since I've been learning how to be a cat.
So this is the PDF, Diego,
Yep.
and we see that the bracketed span worked fine, um, but the fence div did not. Can you? So if we were to tweak it, could you move the start of the bracketed span up higher, like move it up to intro? You know what I'm saying? So the start of your square bracket, put it before intro in that first level header.
This one.
Yeah,
Like that.
sure. I mean, we'll see if it works. I think usually if I've been applying them to headers, I do it not prior to the header, but prior to the title of the header. And then you'll have to take off the opening. Yeah, like that.
We don't do anything with style.
I think, why don't you leave what I'm saying, Diego, is on line, what is that, 20? On line 20, you have a bracketed span that says apply that background color to,
Oh, I see
what's
what
it
you
say?
mean.
Yeah, let's
Well,
see if we can just,
like a square bracket, like
yeah,
whole
but I
thing.
think, yeah, but you're going to want to put that square bracket before the I of intro. That might be fine. And then get rid of the opening square bracket on line 20. So that should capture, you know what I'm saying? So we have a lot more that's captured. So right now, before the E on eagle, you have,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, if you get rid of that open, there you go. There you go. Okay.
Okay.
Can you blow your script up a little bit, Diego? My old eyes, I can't see. Okay, we need a end we need an end bracket before those curly brackets. So you have an
For these.
no. So on line 8 you have an opening square bracket. We need to end that where we want the styling to end. So
Oh,
on
I
line
ended up down here in line 15.
oh, but there's nothing. Okay. but there's nothing specified. So let's get rid of that. So we have to. So this is good. So we have to. You have to specify the styling that you want to apply adjacent to the end of your square bracket. So where you have eagle down below, where you
Yeah.
have the curly brackets,
Oh yeah. And then I just put this to there. Oh, I thought this was enough. It would read this as the style.
well, so that's what we're testing out. It looks like it's not. It looks like it's not responding to those fenced divs like it did in the HTML file.
Is it possible that the JPEG is screwing it up?
No, it's a PNG.
I mean, PNG is screwing up, rather?
Okay, let's remove the image. Let's keep it simpler.
I mean, we can bring it back, but um,
You know, I think what it might. So this is interesting because I think what it might be is those kind of hard returns within the square brackets. There we go. So this ought to work, but this is less interesting, I think. So if this does work, we'll go back and add the picture in between
There we go.
there.
Yeah, the picture. Can I make the picture green?
Well, let's
The
see if
picture
it
green.
works. Let's see if it works though. Just put the
Oh, it
picture.
worked. Square bracket.
Now, one of the other things I was interested in is beyond kind of some of these built-in styling capabilities, like for example, background color. Background color is not something that I really use with any frequency. It's something that even the Quarto help pages, kind of they present it in the context of tables. And so if you want to highlight a cell in a table, I can see background color kind of being something that you might want to play with. But mostly what I've been doing with styling is kind of writing my own CSS and then seeing if that, and then applying that within the files. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up just a simple CSS command, which would be, we'll do underlining. So underlining is not something that natively is commonly done here. And so I know it's kind of awkward to.
Hey, Diego, you only need 2 quotes. I think you have too many. Right? Or am I wrong? Wait. It's getting confused because of the number of quotes.
Yeah. I was trying to change the title, but I don't think that's possible.
I think isn't there a background colon that you can use?
Background colon?
I think there might be something that maybe. Let me look it up. Hold on.
So there's some built-in specifications that we can do, and it looks like the bracketed span is working for the background color, but the fenced div is not. Did we confirm that, Diego? The fenced div is not working in typist for the background color?
No, we have to, for the background, no. It's only the text, the sentence. There. Just this.
Okay. So there's some other styling options that we actually have here. Color itself should work. So color should be the color of the font. So instead of background color, if you just get rid of background, Diego?
You just color. Okay.
Just call it, but I think we want to do that to the bit of script that we know works, right? Which is the on line 10 there, what's called a bracketed span. Yeah, so I think we want to see if, now the expectation there is that the text color is going to change. This is something that is more probably applicable and useful. And if it doesn't work, we
Oh yeah,
will.
it did.
Okay, and that's typist still, or that's the HTML document?
This is typist.
Okay, so that's actually pretty nice, that it actually can do that. Um, the other thing, Diego, I was thinking that we could try is our own CSS specification with the expectation that it's probably not going to work, but we can see how it works within an HTML file and then see if typist is recognizing that as well. Ian has a background color there, I see, in the private chat. Ian, is that a specific color type?
I think that might be able to use it in the right below the format thing, maybe, is what I tried to look up. So at the very top below format. Oh, maybe that's it too. Maybe that's all.
I'm gonna try it on this other fence. Let's see.
Yeah, it's funny we're seeing that those fences aren't working with the same specifications that are working in those bracketed spans, because the support documentation says for those two, so for background color and font color, they should work within both spans and divs.
Is that the color, Ian?
I'm not sure if it is, but
you have to pick another green one.
Oh Jesus. Let's see.
Was it green?
It was also the same. That was the green, I think.
Ian's been finger painting here.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Are you looking for a different color, Diego?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pick a random one. Let's see. I'm gonna pick blue. I'm gonna pick this one, 0099FF. There, it's blue now.
So, typist, the font colors are coming through pretty easy. We should be able to do font families as well, and font sizes. So let me look those up in terms of specifications. The other thing I want to try, Diego, is our own custom CSS. So can you create a new chunk somewhere in that file? Yeah. No, an actual chunk. And call it CSS instead of R. Now, we've been, for slides, for example, we've been specifying our own CSS to do specialized things, specifically with fonts. But I think what we can try here is a fairly simple styling specification, which is just underlining. So if you do a dot underline, Diego, and then in curly brackets.
I'll do like, or I actually write.
Yeah, we'll spell it. We're giving it a CSS command that we want to apply, so we're creating it. So dot underline curly bracket, and then text dash decoration colon underline, and you need a semicolon to end CSS commands. So, I'm not that familiar with CSS, so I know that the structure of the scripting always has indents and hard returns and stuff. We'll see if this works. So if not, we might have to come back and play with some of that. But so,
Now we call this underline, and it creates and underlines it with green.
well, what you should be able to do is you should be able to get rid of the whole. You should be able to get rid of style because we don't need to specify the the aspect of styling that we're trying to apply because it should be specified within our line 26 specification. So everything in curly brackets up there, Diego, you should be able to just replace everything in there with dot underline. And then let's try it as a, let's run that as a HTML file first. The nice thing about these files is the sequence shouldn't matter with the CSS specification. So even if we were to keep that chunk at the bottom of the file, it should still have the same operation. It should still apply the same operation on the text that we're interested in affecting.
Oh no, there was an error.
What? Oh, you know what? So, it's probably because we added that chunk and we didn't, and it's not an R chunk, it's not a Python chunk. So, we might have to add an engine command to the YAML, Diego. So underneath format, if you do engine :knitter, KNITR, that'll tell it that we're we're R people. Sorry, get rid of the TE, just KNITR. Try that.
Nice.
We have so many colors happening here. I can't see if the underline worked or not.
Is it? There's an underline there.
There is an underline?
Yeah. Let me remove all the colors. I don't want any more colors.
Oh, because that's right. Our fence divs are working within the HTML. So. Oh, okay. So you can see it. So let's try a typist, and the expectation is it's not gonna work because this is customized. This is truly customized CSS. Thank you. That's a lot easier to see. I see. Expectation it's not going to work, but we'll see if some non-native CSS can be applied of the type like we've been doing with HTML files. So in the YAML, Diego, if you just change it back to typist, we'll see with the expectation that it's not actually working. But that'd be really cool if it did, if we could do our own customized stylings like we did in an HTML and it was actually...
Is it supposed to be a semicolon over there and not a colon for the underline, the second one?
Yeah, the CSS specification, I'm done with my command symbol is important, and that's it worked.
Yeah, that's not the underline.
That's the typist file?
Yeah, it's typist.
Wow, that is so cool. Should we try some other weird stuff? Let's try one more weird. Do you guys have time for one more weird thing?
I want flames, please.
Flames?
Yes.
Flames?
Yes.
All right, let's find a font that looks flamish.
I remember we were doing something a while back in one of the previous sessions that we had some pretty awesome fonts going on.
Let's see. F600.
Yeah, we might have used this one. I don't know that this is gonna work, but there's a font called Bungee Spice.
That's the one.
That looks flamish. Ian, you gotta be difficult, don't you?
Dr. Close, I don't even try.
You just are
It just it's my
natural
natural.
talent.
Yes, it's. I'm not trying to be difficult. I swear. I literally no, like I'll wake up and I'll just do my best, and that's the automatic most difficult mode.
Uh, I'm going to. You want this in the private chat or in the public chat, Diego?
What? The color?
The font specification. We're gonna try. Ian says he wants flames, so we'll try to do. We'll try to get the funkiest font that we can get, which I don't have. I'm a little worried about it just because it has colors and kind of
Don't worry,
gradations
Dr.
of
Close.
colors.
You'll
No,
be
no, no,
fine.
no, 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 no. We should. Let's try it.
There we go.
So Diego, in that CSS chunk, there's an import URL command that we've been playing with the last few weeks. If you can copy that from the private chat and then just paste it into that CSS chunk, we can see if we can load in some fonts from the internet. And, by the way, I looked into a little bit. We thought that, the heck is that?
That's the White Lotus season 3.
Because Vietnamese.
What is going on?
This is the link. Import URL. I need to write all this.
What did you put in there?
Put in a little bit too much.
Actual,
Too much spice.
the content of the URL.
Oh, really? Okay. So then,
You see,
and then
look, when you click here on your link, it goes to here.
I
The
just
actual CSS.
I think it's funny that Diego called it season 3 of White Lotus or something. Like
Have
we're
you
all
seen season 2?
we're all in different
The season
planes of
1?
existence right now. We need Doctor Strange here to help us, I think. So we need a little CSS to activate that too, Diego. So we would do it like we did a dot underline. We would do a dot bungee or something. And no, I'm sorry. The import URL is fine. We need an extra CSS specification. Yeah. So dot. Wait, load. And then what we want is font dash family. Colon, and then in double quotes or single quotes, put the bungee spice with the same capitalization, same spacing. Okay. So just like you did the dot underline, we should be able to do a dot white lotus. And this one, I think we better check in HTML first. I don't think this one's going to work. But while you check that, I'm going to look for a font that doesn't have the same kind of crazy stylings that Bungee. I'll look for one that's unique but doesn't have the same stylings. What is White Lotus, Ian?
It's a show on HBO Max.
HBO Max. Okay. So, Diego, you want to try that as an HTML? And let's just make sure that we have everything specified because it should be fine. And then it's not surprising that it's not going to show up in the. Did it not show up here either?
No.
Okay, so something.
Unless is it a font type? And maybe I can't tell.
No, this should work for an HTML file. Let's look at our. Oh, it's right there. Font family. It looks okay. Oh, there's no. You need a semicolon after bungee spice.
Oh,
Those semicolons, I'm telling you, the first couple times I tried using CSS, they got me every time.
it got me too.
This one semicolon like that.
No, after the quote.
Oh,
Yeah. Not a full colon, a semicolon. Still didn't work? Did that not work?
no.
And this is an HTML file that we're printing to?
Yes, let me close all this. Yeah, we're printing to HTML. There, that's the word.
Hmm. Huh.
Do you think it's
Let's try. Let's try a different font. That I'm guessing a different font isn't going to work here. But instead of bungee
Actually,
split,
how about we try it on the whole sentence here to see better, because it's just one word. And then
yeah,
we
but
type,
sure, that's fine. But this is a very noticeable font. So
let's see, to compare and contrast.
you know, the lorem ipsum text looks so kind of I don't know, just fancy, I guess,
so
or
that is it.
no, it's still not showing up. So,
Hmm.
but the dignified lorem ipsum is contrasted with the spastic ASDFKJ. Uh, let's try a different one, Diego, and see if it has something to do with that font. I don't think so, but dancing script is one that I use quite a bit. Instead of bungee space, dancing, capital D, dancing, space script, capital S.
I
Then
feel like this one.
we'll
Yeah.
need to read that in as well on the import. Now it could be that the import the the location of these commands might also matter. So can we have the import URL be the first command within that CSS
Oh,
chunk?
okay.
I, I'm not,
Oh, it worked now.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well, Dr. Kulas,
Oh, that actually worked.
that's like three houses. Three houses. If you played the Fire Emblem.
Are we still talking White Lotus here? But
No, I don't. I don't know. I can't. My brain just blew up.
And it's orange. Is that because I put it orange here?
no, that's just the nature of that font.
Oh,
Ian said he wanted something with flames, and that was the most flamey thing that came to mind. So this, I can't. That's why I was saying I don't think it's going to work with typist. But let's just do a quick double check on that. If it did, there's no reason not to. If it would take a crazy font like that, and this customized CSS is working, there's no reason not to just constantly use this. Yeah, that's not going to work. But let's try a different non-funny one and see if it does work. So can we try the dancing script and then we'll just call it a night? And maybe, I don't know, we might need one more week of this just to test it a little deeper, I think. But it's impressive just what we have. And the fact that we can add text decoration like we did with the underlining with the CSS is that's surprising. You're gonna have to change the URL import as well, Diego, to dancing script. Just the very end of it.
oh, just this. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
So
It's
no,
because of
it's
the
not.
typist, right?
No, it's not coming through. Well, yeah, in typist, it's not coming through. If you do an HTML file, that should be you should be able to see it. But that's not surprising. So the other font, the other font um, control that that should work is if we have a locally installed font, we should be able to call that up without this import URL. So the import URL is a method that I've been using with HTML files, and as long as you have an internet connection, it works great. And the reason that I was preferring them is if you're on a computer that doesn't have that file locally or that font locally, you can still render the same document because as long as the computer you're on has an internet connection, it can grab that font from wherever you're at in the world. But traditionally, the way that you use fonts is you load it on your local computer and then it's available. So if we have a font loaded on our local computer, we should be able to specify that. We're out of time tonight, so we don't need to do it tonight. But if we do another week of this, I'll probably load some fonts, or one of us will load a font on our local computer and make sure that we can do the font specification, not with the import URL customized CSS, but with the built-in access this font because it's available on my local computer. Cool. I'm really impressed with this typist thing. I don't know. What do you guys think?
So the typist, the package, is it a package?
It's kind of like a lot of the things that Quarto is supporting. It's a standalone open source venture that's trying to create PDF documents without using all of the traditional typesetting semantic language that you need. So the traditional semantic language that you need to know to generate nicely formatted PDFs is TeX or LaTeX. And so this is one of the obstacles to doing that is it's just your your TeX file specifications can look really cluttered. And so the typist team has been trying to come up with a script language that produces similar PDFs to what LaTeX does, but without the need of knowing or applying LaTeX. And so it's kind of, I'm going to butcher it in terms of not giving proper credit to the people that have developed it, but kind of like a LaTeX Lite. An easier way to generate PDFs than what's traditional.
Yeah, I guess. Like, where's my dissertation? Like when I did my dissertation, I had to write, just for 2 pages of PDF, we had to write so much LaTeX code.
A title page, right?
Yeah, just for title page and just, the abstract and the dedications and all that.
Yeah.
And,
lines.
You have to have the lines of everyone signing, so you have to, and it was a lot of work. I'm sure this makes it a lot easier using.
Well, the column specification that we played with last week was fantastic. We did actually a couple weeks, and now that I mentioned, I forgot about it. But we did actually access locally stored fonts, and so that was easy as well. So, okay, cool. Anything else, you guys?
No.
All right. Well, it's good to see you both. Well, I'm glad you got back from PsyOp all safe, and hopefully I'll be able to see you guys in person next year, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys.
Okay. Have a good weekend.